Welcome back, dear students. Hope you liked the first episode. I got few good feedbacks also. Let us move on to the second episode of Placement and Career Guidance series. The second episode will be given by Priya Agarwal, our alumni student, 2015 pass out batch, and Manas Pratap Thakur, our final year student, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Hope you enjoy this session.
Hi everyone, how are you all doing? Hope you're all healthy and staying fit. So I am Priya Agarwal. I'm an alumnus of batch 2015, and today I'm recording this video so that I can help you all a bit in understanding how to be prepared for your placements and what all good practices that can help you getting jobs and other few important things. Even before I get into those, I would like to thank all the faculty professors from Acharya Institute of Technology to invite me to do this. Thank you so much. So yeah, the hot topic currently is coronavirus and all the job cuts and all sort of happenings around the world, right? I know it's very natural to be anxious in this situation about future and career and what will happen and how to do things. Trust me, this is very natural to this feel this way, but all you need to do is stay put. Like, this too shall pass and you will be doing good. Don't worry about it. First of all, being in the even semester, there are a lot of things to do, and there is of course a lot that you can do too. So do not waste time, going through the internet, this, that, all about coronavirus. I would say just stay put and focus. For example, first thing you can pick up right now is start preparing for your placements. Yeah, trust me, getting a job in the campus placement is a cakewalk if you just put in a little bit of effort. The world outside of campus is definitely not as bright as it looks. So be serious to have at least one offer in hand from the campus interviews, and further you can always try outside, get references, and interview with other companies too. But it gives you a great confidence to have one offer in hand and then try for others, because that way you won't definitely find yourself falling at the short end of the stick, and that nervousness is pretty much compensated with that offer letter. Now, what are the tips for preparing for your placements? As you all know by now, ideally there are 3 rounds of interview. First is the aptitude round, then the technical round, and then the HR round. A major hurdle for most of us is the first round, which is the aptitude round, where the maximum number of students get filtered out. Hence, it is very important to either have a very strong attitude or develop one with practice, right? So, how do we build up our aptitude with practice? Before even you start preparing, it is very important that you know the syllabus, browse through the interview patterns of the company, take help of your professors and placement department to know about the topics. List it down in a piece of paper. Further, tick the topics that you are slightly confident on and start working on the unticked topics one by one using online websites, books like R.S. Agarwal and mock tests, and etc. I personally used to, spend time on solving random questions using indiabix.com every day for about 1 to 2 hours. And in around 15 to 20 days, I was ready and confident and that I'm good to go now. So yeah, remember, confidence is not only about personality, it comes with preparations. If you're well prepared, you will be confident, and then there is no stopping you. You can take it from me, like, you have to be well prepared to be confident. Yes. The second round is the technical round. Technical rounds are generally very short you are asked one or two questions. Either you nail it or not. And yes, the interview will never ask you to write long codes in front of him. So please do not waste time learning codes. Like, it's not helpful at all. In fact, it might actually turn the game around. You might write down codes and you might forget in between, and it just turns the entire game into a different direction altogether. So yeah, codes are not the most important thing in a technical interview. Generally, the interview seeks the logic building capability in you. Some common questions they ask is about how would you swap two numbers. So if an interviewer asks me how do you swap two numbers, I would definitely not want to just ask him for a pen and paper and start writing, right? Instead, they would want you to show how well you can logically define it. They don't want to see the code you may be wanting to write. Instead, they are more likely to hear the logic that since there are two numbers, we need three temporary variables to swap them. Two variables to store two numbers and one for swapping them. Something like if you have two full glasses of water, how will you swap the content of water is by taking a third empty glass and emptying the content of the first glass into the empty glass, then pouring the content of the second into the first and third into the second. Similarly, they quite sometimes ask about adding two numbers, palindrome. So remember, you don't really need to mug up the codes. Instead, you need to understand the logic behind, and you need to understand the concept and not really the code. So if you can impress the examiner or the interviewer with the logic building capability of yours, the codes are very well available on Google. He's definitely not looking at it. Third round is HR round, which is the easiest. All you have to be sure of is your presence of mind. Yeah, every answer that you give may come back to you as another question. So don't lie. Or even if you are doing, then do it very smartly. I would also want to tell you that there is a sea of opportunities out there for the right skill sets. Currently, freelancing is becoming very very required thing, especially in web application development and digitalization of various offline industries. Post-COVID period, moving from offline to online requirement industry-wide, will be seeing a very large-scale, development. So watch out and keep working towards it. Technology is the future for sure. Also, it's very important to understand that success is a constituent of three important things. That is, success is equal to hard skills plus soft skills and plus happy state of mind or stress-free mind. I'm sure all of us know about the hard skills and soft skills and how to develop it. But what do you mean by happy state of mind or stress-free mind? So what I mean by stress-free mind is that it's very important that your mind is in the right state to be productive, right? It is very important that you are stress-free so that you can be productive in achieving the hard and soft skills well with focus and attention. A stress-free mind can be achieved if you work on following healthy eating and sleeping habits, along with doing with a bit of physical activity every day. This is very important. Like struggling an all-nighter or not eating and studying and having an imbalance in your sleeping and eating habits directly affects your mind, and obviously no matter how many hours you put into developing your hard and soft skill, you end up being on the short end of the stick because the focus is missing, because your mind is not in the right state. So I would, from my personal experience, suggest that give importance to all of these three aspects equally. And I will end it here with wishing you all the best for your future. Stay safe, stay healthy, and feel free to reach out for any support. Thank you all.
Hey guys, so I'm Manas Pratap Thakur. I'm a finalist student in Department of CSE, and today I'll be giving you guys tips about how to go about this placement season and what you should expect, and yeah, just the general things. So we mainly have 6 sections or 6 parts to discuss. So the part 1 would be how do you prepare your resume, and the part 2 would be what to do on the interview day. Okay. Part 3 would be what do you do 2 or 1 day before the interview. Okay. Part 4 would be a list of resources that you could use that would be important to you, and part 5 would be how's the job scenario like in this COVID-19 era. Okay. And then part 6 is just an optional thing, and it's like an extra tip that if you guys want, you could hang around, otherwise it's not so important. So going over the first part, that's the resume thing. And resume is very important. It's the first thing that a company sees about you. Okay. And so that's the first point of contact or first line of contact, so it's very important. And 2 things are important in resume. The first thing is it needs to be accomplishment oriented, okay, not responsibility oriented. So it needs to tell how your actions have affected the situation. Okay. So what I mean is an example of responsibility oriented would be you reduce the server latency. Okay. And example of accomplishment related or accomplishment oriented resume would be that you reduce the server latency and it helped to increase the uptime by 7%. Okay. So that's what an accomplishment is. So first thing is you need to make it accomplishment oriented, not responsibility. And second thing is you need to make quantifiable results in your resume. Okay. What I mean is, see, you told that you reduce the latency of the server by 7%. Okay. Now you could put the result as this increase the traffic flow by 6% or 5%. And so that's what is quantifiable result. Don't just put that it increased the incoming traffic. You just put like it increased the incoming traffic by 7%. So that's part 1. Resumes. Again, going over it is 2 things: make it accomplishment oriented, not responsibility oriented, and put quantifiable results in this. Okay. And the second thing is the interview day. Okay. So on the interview day, you need to have some 4 things, I guess, that needs to be very important. First is the introduction. Okay. So actually introduction is very important because it helps you get the attention of the recruiter. Okay. If you give a nice introduction, he would be really interested to listen to what you have to say. So in this introduction, what many people get wrong is it's not about who you are. Okay. It's about why you do what you do. So what I mean is, like, if I ask your introduction, you should not just go on by telling that your name is this, you're from this year, you like this, your hobbies are that, all those. No. So if you are interviewing for a computer science developer role, okay, you need to tell something like, I'm really passionate about technologies, and I've done these many projects that would just blow your mind. Okay. So saying something like this gets the recruiter's attention. Okay. So that's the one thing, introduction. Then the second thing would be algorithms. Okay. So you guys need algorithms, form a very important part of an interview, and actually 80% of these are only from string and arrays. So if you guys get a really good grasp on string and arrays, it would be really superb. Okay. Because they are easy and they form the majority of the questions there. And also, like, if you have a good grasp on strings and arrays, you guys could also get queues and stacks and linked list. Okay, so trees, they are not generally asked in interviews, so we'll just leave that out. And so the most important thing would be strings and arrays. That's it. So after introduction and algorithms, the third thing would be projects, and I cannot stress upon this more. This is the most important thing. So for any company, okay, if you build a nice project, it really helps them find out that who is a doer and who is not, who is just a talker. Okay, so if you have nice projects, actually projects are the only one thing that could get you through the interviews. Okay, so even if you're not so good in algorithms or not so good in speaking and all those things, but if you have a really awesome set of projects, okay, then they would really help you get through the interview. So those are projects. Then the fourth is the HR. Okay, and in the HR part, I guess it's the only important thing to know is what are your strengths and weaknesses. Based on this, I think you could just get through the HR. Okay, it would be a breezer, because all the other questions are just different versions of your strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so on interview day, four things: first introduction, then algorithms, then projects, then HR. Okay, these four things. So we are done with two part. First resume we are done, then on interview what to do done. Then the third would be what to do 2 or 3 days before the interview. Okay, now what I used to do is what I'll suggest is never study before 2 or 3 days before the interview. Okay, always try to read the interview experience of other guys. You could get it on mostly Geek for Geeks or something like Glassdoor. Okay, so why I tell you to read this interview experiences, it's very important to stay calm during the interview. Okay, and when you can stay calm, see, you can stay calm only when you are not surprised. Okay, so in interview experience, when you read something like one question is there like converge the binary trees. Okay, so it's not that you learn how to converge binary trees, it's for the purpose that you know that there could be some questions from binary trees, and when it hits you in the interview, you wouldn't be just blank. Okay, because you would know, you would expect that. So that's why we read interview experiences, to stay calm and to know that what to expect and all those things. And also it also helps to know to get through the interview. Okay, so some companies are there that ask only puzzles. Okay, so if you're like 2 days before, if you're reading that thing, then go over the puzzles. Then most of the companies don't ask trees and all those, but trees and graph, but some of the companies ask. Okay, so if you read interview experiences, okay, you would get to know all these things, and you would be able to customize your approach towards an interview. So that's the reason. Okay, and then the fourth part would be how's the job looking in this COVID area. So I don't think that there would be much effect on the job scenario, considering that COVID-19, the situation normalizes by October. Okay, so the only effect would be that the job offer, okay, it might get delayed. So you might be looking to get a job near 8th semester, mid of 8th semester. So there would be a delay of 1 semester, but I don't think that the hiring will stop. Okay, and like if you're faculty, they tell you that companies are not coming to college anymore or something like that, then I want you guys to know that it's nothing to do with COVID-19. Okay, it's the general trend that's going on in hiring. Okay, companies, they are becoming smart. Okay, they are not looking towards the traditional form of hiring, that is go to every college and campus. So they are trying to diversify. So I think most likely you guys would have to apply from outside, from other portals and all those things. Okay, so that's it. I think that's what I think, as at least for CS and IT guys, you guys wouldn't be affected so much in COVID-19 area. So okay, so we are done with these 4 parts. First was resume, then on interview what to do, then 1 day before interview what to do, then job in COVID-19 era, And some of the list of some important resources would be, okay, so a very good coding book. Okay, so no, like if you want to start practicing coding, I think HackerRank would be the best one. And yeah, so I've done like on all the websites, and HackerRank would be really good. And then Lead Code is also optional number 2 if you want something else, but HackerRank I really suggest, and Lead Code on second, nothing else. And you could also read Geek for Geeks questions. Okay, so they have something like 10 most commonly asked questions, like in most common array questions, most common trees questions, all those things. So you could study there. So HackerRank, Lead Code, Geek for Geeks, something. So that's for programming. Okay. Then the best programming book would be Cracking the Coding Interview. It's by Gail McDowell again. So like everyone has that. I also studied from that. It's like very superb. It's the bestseller. So there we are in programming. It's covered. Then for English section, I think you guys should read a lot of newspaper and lot of blogs, all those things. I think books also. So those things would improve your English knowledge. And for quants, okay, so I really found there is a channel Dear Sir, okay, on YouTube. I really found that to be very helpful, and it was like I saw all the channels, and that this Dear Sir channel, it was the best one for quants. Okay, oh, it might be that many of you guys already know quants, so you wouldn't need it, but if you guys need, that Dear Sir is a super thing. And okay, so I told you about quants, what to do, then English, the programming, and the main part of your resume or your career as is skills. Okay, skills and projects to demonstrate the skill. And for this, I think the best website would be Udemy. And yeah, Udemy and full stop. There is no secondary, nothing secondary to Udemy. Okay, so the certification of Udemy, it might not be worth a lot. Okay, but there are really amazing creators and amazing guys there that teach in a very superb way, and you would understand there a lot. So I would really recommend you guys to study from Udemy. So you guys could search something like Node. Okay, you'll get a course of Node.js, React, and Angular, all those things. Okay, so we are done with 5 sections, and the 6th and optional section. So these 5 sections are enough for you to get prepared for the interview. And then the 6th section would be, it's like my story. It's optional. You guys could hang around to listen to it. So like I'm in a place in a very good company, and I'll just tell you guys what worked out for me. So the main thing is I'd been connected to a lot of my seniors. Okay, and seniors who were really doing very good, and they just helped me through the whole process. So I told you guys, right, like if you study, if you know what's going to happen, you're better prepared for it, and you know what to expect and all those things. So like I advise you guys also to connect with your senior, and not just connect with like the best one. Okay, so I don't want you guys to go about asking who is the best guy. So that's not how it works. Okay, so you guys should be looking somewhere around above the average and just below the best. So above average guys, okay, there's a small bracket there. So like the from top 2 to top 20, I guess those guys generally work best. Okay, so for me also, so these guys, they really helped me. And so that was the first thing. The seniors were very important. And 2 more things that worked for me was I knew what I had to do. Okay, so on the May end I got a very nice internship, but I knew that time it was a good internship, but I knew that time that my programming skills were not so good. Okay, so what I did, I just dropped that internship, and the whole summer break, that is between 6th and 7th sem, I just studied algorithms. Okay, and that turned out to be the turning point. Okay, so because it helped me get through all the interviews. So like there hasn't been a case where I have been rejected due to algorithm knowledge. So this thing helped me because I knew what I had to do. So if you guys know, like you guys are good in algorithms, then just don't waste time on learning more of it. And if you guys know that you don't have good algorithm knowledge, then just go on studying about algorithm. That's one thing. And the second thing is like I had to face rejection from close to 3-4 companies. Okay, and not just normal companies. These were like the dream companies, okay. And after each rejection, I never got sad, okay. I just sat down and just listened. Means I sat down and noted down like why I was rejected. I always used to ask my recruiter, okay, like any feedback for me, and he used to give some things like, okay, I think this worked out for you, this is good for you, but this is not good. Then I used to work on my weaker sections, then about that. So after like 3-4 dream company rejection, I got the fifth one. I think I just went through it and I did very good because I had learned from previous experiences how to go about it. And so that's it, I guess. And if you guys have any other question, you guys could talk to me on LinkedIn. I'm there. Yeah, I guess that would be. Thank you.